And hello. Hello. Welcome to TubeBuddy Support Live Stream. Today is a tutorial, especially if you are a beginner learning all the things TubeBuddy. There could be a lot. Quite a lot. But it doesn't have to be a lot if we are able to focus on a few things. But today is going to be an overview, essentially just walking over some of these tools that help us out. Especially if you're just starting out growing a channel. Where do you begin? What tools should you focus on first? Which one to master? Which ones to incorporate? We'll talk about all that stuff today. Meanwhile, a quick hello to everybody there right now. Nodi, Terrell, Body by Billy, and everyone else in the shadows or watching later while this video is no longer live. Welcome to the party. So, let's make sure everything's working, looking okay, because it's always a fun time trying to figure those things out. I like it. I think so. So why don't we move on over to what I would say is a better section here. All right, I'm still here, still there. So once again, this is a TubeBuddy tutorial. I'm calling it TubeBuddy 101. And essentially, we're going to be learning about TubeBuddy today. As far as, where do you start? What does everything mean? Everything's everywhere. And that's the first piece to know, is that TubeBuddy, whenever you're getting started, TubeBuddy is everywhere, as far as YouTube is concerned. You'll find TubeBuddy all over the place. And this is assuming that you've already created an account, you've downloaded the extension to your browser, and if you haven't done so already, there are videos in the channel to help guide you on how to do that first. But once that's done, you'll see this icon here at the top right where you can start working with TubeBuddy. And as I mentioned, TubeBuddy is everywhere. I like to say that it is scattered all over the place like confetti. And it's really everywhere that you would expect to get some kind of help. So in this case, first we're looking at just kind of like a dashboard or your menu links. This is where you can see a quick list of shortcuts just to take you to where you need to go in YouTube Studio. And essentially this just saves you several clicks. But under that, you'll find a list of extension tools to help take you straight to the most popular, the ones that you might want to focus on first. And of course, website tools for all the rest, depending on what your current goals are. So, let me make some adjustments here to the música. So, moving around, if we are to start searching things, for example, learning how to use TubeBuddy, and I want to find some things, and here's some things. But first thing you're going to notice is that there's a View Details button here, which by clicking on that, you'll be able to see on each video what tags they're using. So it's a great way that, especially as a beginner and if you're looking to grow, is to see what other people are doing out there. What are your favorite videos doing? What kind of tags are they using? And also, just it could give you some ideas for how to build out the kind of content that you're going to be making, and maybe some SEO ideas and strategies. If you don't want to see that, you can go ahead and click hide, and away they go. And of course, on the right side, you'll also see Search Explorer, which will give you information about that keyword phrase. So this keyword here, or these keywords put together, learning how to use TubeBuddy, we immediately see there's an 89 score. Cool. Search volume, some not as much competition, and it's related searches, common tags. Already a lot of data as you're browsing, as you're exploring, trying to figure things out. You can also see keyword stats, so most views, the least amount of views as far as videos go. Keywords and titles, it'll help give you some information. Now this is a short version of the Keyword Explorer, which we'll also take a look at. I'll be going more in depth with these tools later on in other videos, but for now, this is just to get you going, just to get you started, see what things are, where they are. For starting out, I like having this on because it starts giving you ideas, and it can start showing you what videos are utilizing tags and how they're utilizing their tags. So now, let's say I go to a video. First things first, good old Andrew. How to use TubeBuddy for YouTube. 5 things to do after installing. On the right side, now you'll see Videolytics, where you'll essentially get more information about the video itself, not just the tags, but what kind of best practices they might be following, and more. Something that you can do from here for beginners is show search rank trackings. So you'll be able to see, okay, these phrases, if I search this in YouTube right now, this video will show up first for these phrases. So as you're looking through maybe your competition, maybe your previous videos, and you can quickly see which ones are ranking when you search on YouTube. And this is helpful because as we're starting out, as we're growing, you get to see where you're positioning yourself and how you're moving up and down in those search results. It's good to keep tabs on it because you never know. Things change. Trends change. Topics, solutions change. Problems change. I was about to say a quote about the only truth is constant, but I think it was something else. Oh well, you get the picture. So, there's a bit of that. Now, if I went over to YouTube Studio, we see essentially, what seems to be a normal YouTube Studio page. But as I start moving along in content, we'll start to see TubeBuddy appear again more. Back to what I was saying, it's scattered like confetti. So here we'll see some more tools that you'll be able to access, miscellaneous tools, anything else. But even while you're hovering over videos, you'll see even more tools. And this is why it can be a little overwhelming sometimes. So don't worry about all this stuff yet. Just know that tools are everywhere. And depending on what you're trying to do, those tools that you see around there are essentially there to help you accomplish certain things. Even if I go to analytics, not in this section, but let's see, in audience, we'll start to see down here some recommendations of when to post. And of course, when working with your comments, you'll be able to create canned responses as you're replying to some of these. And depending on what version or what license tier you have, subtitles, you'll also be able to translate some of these into other languages for whichever languages your audiences speak, which is a very powerful thing to do we have an auto translator here that will allow you to translate your videos or your titles and descriptions into other languages to be found. In other words, think of it where extra keywords are now added onto your video to be discovered by other regions around the world. Huge strategy there. But back to basics. So now we know, all right, TubeBuddy, it's just all over the place. And essentially, back to the question, what do you start with? Where to begin? What is the main, if there's anything to focus on for beginners, it is essentially up to you. It's up to your goals. The biggest question to ask is, what is your current goal right now? Is it to optimize your videos? In other words, are you trying to grow your viewership? Are you trying to gain subscribers? Are you trying to just find a save time so that you can create some templates and defaults so that you don't have to keep doing a lot of the same thing over and over again? I'm going to take a guess that you might want to be growing your or building your views, which for any beginner, especially if you have a small channel, it's probably what you want to do. Tip number 1 is keep making content. And part of that is making sure you make content for your audience. So the one tool I would always recommend to start with is Keyword Explorer. Keyword Explorer is going to help you figure things out as far as what's going on in the world. Or, more importantly, what's going on with your audience and what they're looking for. Is there a problem out there that you could be solving with a video? Is there something that you might be able to really, how do you say that? Contribute to the community. In this case, TubeBuddy tutorial, if I type that in, explore, this as a beginner, what you want to be looking for is what is your audience and what is your audience looking for, and what kind of videos are already out there, so that you can position yourself with a different perspective or distinguish yourself a little differently from them and what they're planning on doing or what they've already done. In this case, what I can do from here is, looking at this from a beginner's angle, is, all right, we have related searches. This gives me an idea of what people are looking for when it comes to TubeBuddy tutorials. There seems to be some information about 2022. There's questions about mobile tutorials and, PC and anything else. This can help you understand a bit more. If I change this to maybe, hi, Natural TV, ghost hunting. If I was thinking of building a channel about ghost hunting, and, well, maybe I don't have a lot out there yet. Maybe I'm still trying to figure things out. Keyword Explorer, one of the, the main tool to focus on here as I grow my channel, because I'm making content right now. That's your main goal. Just make content, get it out there. You can always optimize your videos later too, but get those videos out there. But as you're digging around and learning about what you can do here, in this case, ghost hunting, I can see, all right, ghost hunting in Gorilla Tag. Interesting, with the boys. Game, video, it's funny. We can already see ghost hunting Roblox. We can see some information already. What are these searches? What are the searches about when it comes to ghost hunting? So this is a great way to do some competitive analysis. You'll be able to see what kind of search volume is out there. In case you are still trying to determine what kind of content you're trying to make, these metrics can help you determine what might be a good bit of landscape to prop your video tent in, so to speak. There's a lot of real estate out there to, where, you got to consider, where do you position yourself? And this helps you see what all that looks like. But not just on YouTube, you can also see what people are searching for on Google. So there's, ghost hunting equipment, Walmart. I can decide, maybe I'll do reviews. I'll go purchase some ghost hunting equipment at Walmart and do some reviews. Or maybe I might be leaning more in the gaming section of things. And so on and so on. So based off of some of those searches, you can already start building content around what people are searching for, so that you have a higher chance of gaining those views. I am Uzi. Yes, you can get a shout out. There's a shout out. Welcome to TubeBuddy Support Live. Feel free to make yourself comfortable. Grab a blankie or whatever makes you relax. For me, it's a little bit of coffee. Excuse me. This is live. And we are having a nice, relaxing day today. But moving on to video topics. This, especially if you don't already have a list of ideas, if you're running out of ideas. Quick tip, if you don't have a list of ideas already, a long one, a good one, utilize this. Video topics will give you all sorts of creative ideas. You don't have to pull exactly what they say, but take a look, and maybe you might be able to combine some ideas and save it for later. This is a great way to start building out your roadmap, what content you're going to start making, and have a focus so that you can keep moving on that consistency. Cheers. So in this case, we see where ghost hunting, or where's ghost hunting in Royal High, where to go ghost hunting in Royal High. So I can be, okay, that might be interesting. Or even if I'm more on the Roblox side of things, anything like that, maybe Phasmophobia. So I can decide to maybe save a couple of these. Let's say that some of these were great. Under action, I can save it to a topic planner in case you don't already have a way to manage that. If you don't have a list somewhere on a notepad or Trello or Notion or what have you, this video topic planner is a great place to start so that you can organize your ideas and move from there. Last is the common tags, where you can also see what are those common tags on all of those videos out there. Paranormal activity. This will already give you more ideas of, okay, keywords that I want to consider as I'm building my content. And I mentioned this before in another previous live stream about how to save time. The only other tool I would encourage any beginner to use when it comes to getting started is Keyword Explorer and tag lists. Because this way I can decide, okay, well, I'm going to be doing a series about ghost hunting, and I'm definitely going to add things about paranormal activity, ghost hunters, maybe a few of these just to start. And I can create a tag list and save that in there so I can later go back to it to do any further research to determine whether or not you want to keep these or not. Or if you've already decided that I know that I'm going to keep paranormal and paranormal activity as a tag, then that's another way to do it. Another consideration is maybe you don't want to fill up your tag list with just a bunch of keywords, since tags might not help you out so much. The most important tip number 3, the most important thing to keep in mind when you are searching keywords or building out keywords or researching keywords is determining what keywords to utilize in your title and description, because that is the most important piece of SEO that will help you be discovered. Just adding them into a tag as tags in your video aren't as impactful. In fact, the best way to utilize tags are to find misspellings, or how would someone misspell ghost hunting? That would be the best use of a tag. As you're building though, as you're growing, I wouldn't worry too much about that. From back to kind of a beginner's perspective, use this to collect ideas. Use this to get an idea of your area, your category, your topic, the problem that you're solving, and what your audience is interested in right now. Coffee for the win indeed. So the other aspect of this, there's a couple things, but as you're learning, discovering your landscape, exploring your landscape, there's results, little menu here. A little hard to see, so sometimes it could be missed, but highly valuable, and what I would consider underrated. This results tab shows you, well, what the top 20 search results are. So if I search ghost hunting right now on YouTube, these are the top 20 videos that will be ranking, or that will be showing up in those results for me. So without having to leave or go to another tab and, all getting tab wild, I can just quickly see what those results are. And I can start getting an idea of their thumbnail style, what they're typing in titles, what is climbing, or more importantly, who's my top competitor? Who do you need to go toe to toe with? In this case, A&E. So if I want to do something about ghost hunting, A&E is who I got to worry about. Or I can use them to just maybe look at what they're doing, make something similar, or try to find a way to be, more importantly, distinguish myself differently from A&E. What could I offer that maybe A&E isn't when it comes to ghost hunting? So that's a great way to think about as you're growing your channel, as you're starting out, but as you're getting started with TubeBuddy and how to utilize this. This is a great way just to begin without getting lost in the metrics, without getting lost in really everything that's going on. Use this to get ideas, to explore your category and understand your audience just a little bit better. In the future, we can talk a bit more about intermediate and advanced strategies for utilizing this, but for now, we'll keep it pretty easy, beginner status. So last thing is differences between weighted and unweighted. This can be confusing. So I want to pretty much bunk the myth or something, I don't know. Explain what this means. So right now we were looking at weighted. And if you're starting out with TubeBuddy, you might be on a free license or you might be on a pro license. Either way, unweighted, what does this mean? This score essentially just means that if we're targeting this keyword, essentially it's a fair keyword to target. It's a fair keyword to utilize when we're not considering our channel, our audience, when we're only considering a broad spectrum, a broad audience, just the average user out there, just maybe people who don't care about ghost hunting. It's just in general, without anything involved. In this case, if I'm, an example, I'm TubeBuddy Support. I'm logged in as TubeBuddy Support. My channel is TubeBuddy Support. Our channel is about tutorials. We're teaching you about TubeBuddy. Unweighted is a score for me when I'm not considering that fact. Essentially, TubeBuddy is going to look at that. TubeBuddy is going to look at our subscribers, our channel history, none of it. It's just in general. Weighted will take that into consideration. And now it's a matter of, well, you're a channel about tutorials, but you want to do something about ghost hunting? It doesn't weigh, something's off. is what that is saying. So if we're looking at the weighted and unweighted, it's essentially, does this make sense? Is something off here? And when we're considering our channel. People want to learn about TubeBuddy, maybe not about ghost hunting. So this score went down a bit because of that. Pro tip, while we're here. How do you use these? When to use one or the other? Typically, you probably want to be on a weighted. Otherwise, unweighted, the strategy for this is, for example, maybe I'm going to make a video about ghost hunting to convince somebody out there on YouTube that typically doesn't search things about ghost hunting or typically has no interest in ghost hunting. And my goal is to convince them to get a little interested in ghost hunting. So I would use this score to see, all right, how does this fare when I'm not considering my audience? I'm just going to throw a net out there and see, is this a keyword worth targeting? Or are there going to be a lot of nets out there getting lost? Or is my net that I throw going to get lost in the sea of other nets? And what does that look like? In this case, it's telling me, it's fair. There's definitely a lot of nets out there when it comes to ghost hunting. The volume is great though. And you have an opportunity to catch some if you optimize your net properly. And if you continue doing that, you can hold a strong position. So pretty much that's the strategy. That's the differences, lightly kind of describing it in the best way that I can to keep it as simple as possible. So, Keyword Explorer, great tool. And of course, as you are going around clicking on things, you can click on some of those related searches or keywords, tags, and quickly look at more, continue, that rinse and repeat process of look at, maybe the score, but more importantly, look at what those related searches are, see what people are searching on Google, what kind of video topics can I come up with, what other tags in relation to this is most common. Take a look at the results. What does that landscape look like for that particular keyword? Maybe who your competitor, your main top competitor may be, and collect that data. The more you collect, the more you understand your audience, the more you understand the landscape, the more you understand your competitors, the easier it'll be for you to start building and positioning yourself as you're making videos. And of course, last but not least, as I mentioned with tag lists, whatever you find. So let's say maybe I went too far here. I can go to ghost hunting, go back here, and okay, better off. I like this one, and I can save all that to the tag list. I encourage you to create different tag lists so that you can utilize those in the future, save some time. So the main things when you're starting out with TubeBuddy, Keyword Explorer, tag list, use that to explore and understand if you haven't already. So let's say that, Josh, I already know this stuff. I'm past this. I just need to know, more TubeBuddy related stuff. Where should I begin, when it comes to having a lot of videos and keyword research? Then still keyword research, still organize tags, still understand that landscape, but also for the added step of optimizing those videos with SEO Studio. These are the main basics, is Keyword Explorer, tag lists, and SEO Studio. Using those three together, because as you're building out an SEO draft, you'll be able to pull from your list of tags you used before so that you're creating a workflow to keep you going with every video that you either upload or optimize in the past. For example, with the SEO Studio, a strategy, one tip that I like to utilize, or that I like to mention or utilize myself, is creating these SEO drafts that I can use as a template later. So for example, if I'm considering doing a ghost hunting series, and essentially I can maybe choose ghost hunting as my target keyword. Of course, you'll figure out yours. Click start. And what I can do is maybe apply different defaults that I've saved with TubeBuddy. And let me back up a little bit. One of the things with TubeBuddy that you can do is in your settings, your upload defaults here, you can create what your defaults would be in a video. And down here, you'll see upload defaults where you can click new, and we'll say main, Josh. Save that, which I think at some point, or may have already done. There we go. And then let's go to SEO Studio again. Ghost hunting. And it's not there. All right. Well, essentially, you would apply it and you'll save your upload defaults here so you can do that. You only need to do it once, so it's not too big of a deal. But it is helpful if you have long form videos and you have, a certain way of wording this for those. And then if you have live streams and you have a different set of information to give your audience for live streams, now you don't have to retype it. You'll be able to select it from here, click apply, keep moving. And you might not, of course, it's just a template here, so I'm not adding a lot of information quite yet. But I know that I might be utilizing some of this in the future. This and maybe part one of something, for example. And from here, I can import a list of tags that we saved earlier and move along. Maybe have a thumbnail ready if I want to. Not so important at this point, but apply to video. Or in this case, like we're talking about drafts and templates, I would save that as a draft. So now in the future, what I can do when I'm uploading the next video or preparing my next optimized video is start from a draft. That way, most of everything's done, shaving you a little bit of time. If you don't have a lot of videos, you don't have to do this, but when you do have a lot of videos, at a certain point, every minute counts, and all those minutes add up over time in the future, giving you quite a bit of more time to make content or watch your favorite video. So that is essentially what this will do for you when it comes to TubeBuddy and where to start as a beginner. Look at TubeBuddy, use it, or whenever you're searching, use it to see what your other competitors are doing, or as you're watching other videos, just to keep tabs on things and keep learning as you go. Focus on Keyword Explorer, Tagless, and SEO Studio. Those three will be more than enough to give you a workflow. From there, you'll start being able to build out or expand into other tools, not just from here, but on TubeBuddy.com, where you'll be able to keep track of more things like your health report, or if you're a beginner. My main suggestion here for if you're starting out with TubeBuddy is health report. And if you do have access to a higher tier license, search rank tracking is a great place to start, so you can track a lot of those videos and how they're changing over time in rank, which is definitely helpful as you're trying to figure out whether or not your videos are optimized well enough, or what might need to change in order for you to continue growing from there. So this is a 101, just starting. Those are some basic tips. There's, again, like I mentioned, so much to TubeBuddy, so much more, and it can sometimes be overwhelming. I get it. But if you just need somewhere to start, where to begin, hang out in Keyword Explorer. And its related cousin when you're searching, the Search Explorer. Those two things will help give you more information, because there's nothing better than data to help you make decisions and hold a better grasp on your topic, your audience, and solving the problem that you're trying to solve with your videos. With that said, that's it. I'm going to be hanging out. Any questions out there? Otherwise, we're going to just make this kind of a little mini office hours kind of thing, where essentially now's the time for you to ask me anything, whatever you like, or say hello, or what are some of the things you're trying to figure out now? What are some of your goals? And there's some way I can help. I will help you right now, right here, live on stream, in the great, great unknown universe that is YouTube. Cheers again with the coffee. Also, let me know what you would like to see later. What kind of tutorials you'd like to see. What tool do you want to learn more about? Or which tool are you struggling with the most? If not, chat. If you're not here, and for those of you watching later, throw in comments. I'd love to hear from you. Try to figure out how I can help. My goal is to figure out what it is you need the most help with. And go from there. Which I think we're probably okay. There does not seem to be any questions. Clown baby Hello. Hello. What is the best way to keyword research the competition? So, the best way to keyword research the competition. Do you mean the best way to research what keywords your competition is using? Correct me if I'm wrong, but otherwise, if that's not the case, we can go back here. The other one. Let me move chat out of the way there. Sorry about that. I'd like to see more about A/B testing. Haha! You got it. To answer the first question, and Mr. Malcolm, thanks for being here. Thanks for the question. Couple ways, just in general, of researching your competition. My favorite way to do this is by using Keyword Explorer. So we can look at any competition. Let's say that kind of going back to ghost hunting, or maybe we can use another, we'll try another topic here. Let's try on the topic of coffee earlier. Coffee beans. So here's something that I can do is type in coffee beans, look at results, and boom. Here's the main biggest one. And next, you'll be able to look at the search results, because ultimately that's where your competition is. That's what you need to compete with. These videos that are there. In this case, already seeing top ranking is Travis Scott. And next I can see, all right, now I got Jungle Joel videos, Knoll Farm, Coffee Freak, Whole Latte Love. That's great. I like that one. Best Kitchen Items, James Hoffman. So at this point, my next step would be to, one, check them out. Take a look. Find out a little bit more. Whole Latte Love. I love that one so much. So, oops. So we can see here, Travis Scott, going to their channel, taking a look maybe at what they're doing here, maybe some of their channel keywords. But more importantly, you can also just look at some of those videos. Dig into maybe some of your favorite ones that make sense. In this case, I see, I looked at Coffee Beans, but as I'm looking through the channel, I'm discovering that, this might not be my competition. So why does Coffee Beans why is Travis Scott holding the authority here for Coffee Beans? Could be, if I go back, oops, I love that autoplay sometimes. Coffee Bean Audio. It seems that there's a music video that has just skyrocketed with that for some reasons. Could be a genius marketing idea, maybe not. So, but immediately I can say, okay, so this isn't my competition. I don't need to worry about Travis Scott because they only own one here. But there's just a bit of what I'm learning is it's scattered. Another way of looking at this is it is quite saturated. That says a lot. So when it comes to Coffee Beans, it's saturated, but either way, I would look at the channel, take a look, what keywords are they using? Maybe open up a video for something that's working or close to what you're doing, and study those videolytics. Take a look at those tags. See what they're utilizing here. Maybe even click search rank tracking and see what is ranking for you or when in search results to give you some ideas or gain a better understanding of what it is that they're doing. So this is one of my favorite ways to research the competition is just simply check the results, take a look-see doodle. And of course, if you do have a higher level tier license, you can, based off of that research, you can add your competition over to this list and go to that way in your scorecard. You'll be able to keep track of all of those competitors that you've added to see what videos they're uploading, how many views, subscribers in the last 30 days per day, as well as some of their best performing videos, depending if you have enough competitors in here for it to show you. Definitely a kind of a two-parter there. Let's go back here. How does TubeBuddy help with channel analytics and tracking? Does TubeBuddy have a mobile app, or is it only available on desktop? Great questions. So, also, of course, Mr. Malcolm, whenever you are searching some stuff, let's say with Coffee Beans, if I search, Coffee Beans, as I'm looking at what's out there, as I mentioned before, Search Explorer, it's kind of related cousin of Keyword Explorer here, which will give you the quick, basic kind of competitive analysis here of what tags they might be using. This will just give you some small details, a bit helpful depending on what you're looking for. If anything, it'll help give you ideas for maybe keywords to research. For example, I can say, this is great, beginner's guide to coffee. That might be a great idea or something I might want to build upon, or research a bit further. I can click the little hourglass and it'll take me to Keyword Explorer, which gives me more information, and I can dig a bit further or look at the results and now see, all right, Beginner's Guide to Coffee, James Hoffman owns 6 out of 18 search results. This might be my main competition. Now I can kind of dig a bit further into that channel and learn more. Since the Channelytics will show you what channel keywords they're using, in case it's something that you want to learn more from, if you don't already know what kind of keywords to utilize here. And as mentioning, click on some of those videos, dig into the Videolytics, study, or in other words, research. So, how does TubeBuddy help with channel analytics and tracking? Channel analytics and tracking. So as I mentioned back in TubeBuddy accounts, or one of the ones I definitely recommend is the health report. The health report is one great way to look at your channel analytics. It condenses some of that information that you would normally see on your analytics on YouTube, to kind of bring focus into some of the areas you might be looking to, or some of the areas you might repetitively check. One of my favorite ways to use this is the traffic sources, where you can see what keywords are working. It just takes all that information and tells you, all right, these are the ones that are working, or, kind of falling off the map a little bit or climbing back up. Great way to keep track of it, including what videos the viewers might have been discovering your content from, other websites, and a bit more information about your audience if you didn't already know. So definitely another kind of underrated, it's a very simple tool, but very helpful for saving you time. Just here it is, go here, check it out. You got the main pieces that you need to see. And aside from that, depending on what channel analytics you're looking for, Retention Analyzer may help more kind of on the video aspect of it. But more importantly, the search rank tracking is what will also help you keep track of, your videos and how they're moving up and down in the search results. It doesn't give you much information on the channel as a whole. The health report is really where to go for analytics on your channel. And does TubeBuddy have a mobile app, or is it only available on desktop? There is a mobile app that you'll be able to look at. If you go to tubebuddy.com/mobile, you'll find some information. There's an app for Android and the iPhone. It's a bit limited to what you have access to here. My recommendation is to use this browser extension instead. That way you can do a lot more, organize a lot more, and especially if you do pay for a subscription of any kind, purchasing the subscription for the extension, the pro version and up, that one will automatically give you access to the mobile app, which is a lot easier, way more efficient, way more cost effective. But otherwise, a free version will give you just some basic information just to keep track as you're on the go. And A/B testing. All right, so now we can kind of answer some of those questions with A/B testing. It helps greatly with optimizing thumbnails, but optimizing your thumbnails is a matter of understanding your audience. And that can mean a lot of things. It can mean what their favorite color is. It can mean whether they want to see a question mark in the title or the thumbnail. And sometimes it's hard to know. It's hard to learn what that really means. A/B testing is one tool that can help you figure out what your audience prefers. And when we are running an A/B test, essentially you'll be able to create an A/B test, and I can make a video about this pretty soon to go more in depth. so you can watch a little later. But just a quick overview of it. Essentially, this is how it will help you with optimizing your thumbnail. Essentially, you would create an A/B test, create a thumbnail that's slightly different to what your main original one was. In this case, I picked a bad example because I don't really see a great change at all. But here's a better one. Right here. So the original is this thumbnail, and the variation thumbnail we're testing is this one. This will help us kind of pinpoint some of these slight changes and what it does. Does this help? Does the word "end" essentially, pique the curiosity of your viewers or our viewers? Or does the word "spam," capture their attention a little easier? Spam seems to be winning so far. A little bit. And just that little increase is helpful. And you would want to rinse and repeat this process. Now that you kind of know which one's going to win or which one finishes, you select that one and rinse and repeat. Keep figuring out what's working, what doesn't, so you can see how the meter's moving. I would never recommend doing multiple changes all at once, like titles and descriptions and tags and a completely different thumbnail. Do one at a time. That way you know what's affecting your performance. In this occasion, the click-through rate, especially when we're considering thumbnails. So, also, statistical significance. Only use that if you have more than 1,000 views of traffic per video. If you don't, it's going to take a while to finish. And if you did, this is always the smartest way to go. Essentially, let our servers automate the process for you. Otherwise, if you do have a smaller channel, you could A/B test using just date range. For example, if I create an A/B test and I select a video here, it's later going to ask me what type of A/B test. And you'll be able to select between a date range or automatically using statistical significance. The date range is a good way to avoid, the automated process that'll just continue going because there's just not enough views. But it's better to wait until you do have around that many views to get better results, and focus your time more on just creating more content and driving more traffic and views so that you can utilize A/B tests a bit more. Still, date ranges can still help. You can get some kind of information, take it like a ballpark, take it like a guideline, and again, rinse and repeat those tests up until you are satisfied with your CTR and start moving on to different video. Pro tip with that, if you do have access to A/B tests, Click Magnet is a really great way for you to decide or determine which ones to start with if you don't know where to begin. CTR opportunities will give you a list of all the videos that are there, which ones aren't performing so well when it comes to CTR, and essentially give you an idea of what to start with. In this case, okay, this one has a high opportunity to be improved, so I can create an A/B test from here and move forward. And if I'm just starting out, should I go with Legend or Pro account? If you're just starting out, depending on the size of your channel. If you're just starting out with YouTube and you're just growing a channel, my recommendation is Pro. That way you can start building your videos, video library, start building out your channel, and essentially get the basics down. As you grow your channel, once you have a substantial library, you have a solid subscriber base, then that's when Legend will become more valuable for you, and you'll be able to use more bulk tools. You'll be able to do A/B testing that's effective with a broad viewership. And without that, you might not get as much value. It's still helpful. It depends on your needs too. So, but essentially, if you have a small channel, go pro. If you have a big channel, you can go, I would recommend Legend for sure. And dysphagia, I hope I answered your question about, or kind of gave you a little bit more about A/B testing and how that works, how to use it, when to use it, the strategies behind using it as far as just keeping it small. But if there are more questions, we are out of time. I'm going to give it a few minutes to answer a bit more. Essentially, another way to do it is add a comment. Let me know later in the comments below. I will respond to you there with some more information about whatever it is you want to learn. And of course, if there is a video you'd like me to do a full little tutorial on, I will do it. There's a lot coming for the channel. Better thumbnails. And all sorts of stuff. More educational videos, more live streams, tutorial live streams. Next week, we'll be bringing back the community for just hanging out, learning from each other. And hope to see you there. Same time, Thursday, 11 o'clock of the morning, Pacific Standard Time. And of course, there is TubeBuddy support to reach out to whenever you have an issue. And if you haven't already, join our Discord. I think the Discord link is down below in the video. If not, please correct me, because I will do it and add it. And until then, I'll see you next time. Don't see some other questions, so we're going to call this. As I'm getting back to filming, in fact, I'm on editing now. I'll start using that click magnet facility after a while. I'm using A/B testing at the moment. Yeah, really, click magnet is a good place to start when you don't know where to start. I like seeing data, so knowing that, all right, here's a list of videos that are performing pretty well. People are watching, the retention is high, but the click-through rate needs a little work. And that means optimizing your thumbnail. How to optimize a thumbnail is more on the creator, more on you. And ways to find out what might work for them is ask them, ask the community, make a poll, make a post, ask your Discord server or Reddit. Where's your audience? Try to figure out some info from them. Maybe test in our Discord server, but I really wouldn't recommend it so much since maybe your audience is likely not there. But you can use an example of how we ask each other for feedback over to where your audience is. And ask them, would you like thumbnail A or would you like thumbnail B? Try it out. Maybe ask them why. Exploring the outdoors. Awesome info. Love these videos. Thank you. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Thanks everybody for being here. We're going to call it right there. It's been an absolute pleasure. And until next time, drink your water, take your breaks, keep on creating. Bye-bye. And, you know, all sorts of cool outro stuff.